You're listening to She's the Business podcast. And today we're talking about some myths around money. The funny thing about myths is that you don't actually know it's a myth until you know the truth, right? So you're operating under these perceived truths all of the time. And money seems to be an area that we have an incredible number of myths. And these myths are showing up in daily decisions, underpricing services, delaying the hires that you might need to run your business. And we're going to be showing you in today's episode how you can recognize the myth, first of all, and then reframe it into confident action. Stay tuned. This is coming right up. Hi, I'm your host, Jessica Osborne, and over the last 25 years in marketing and business, I've helped many brands to launch, scale, and grow, with some of them becoming multi-billion-dollar companies. I'm here to inspire you to get out of your own way and create a profitable, fulfilling business while living the lifestyle you really desire, without all the hustle. So I bring you She's the Business podcast, a unique blend of strategies, tactics, mindset, health, and spirituality, literally everything you need to be the successful leader of your dream business. Made by women, for women, this is your weekly dose of motivation and inspiration. Joining me on the podcast today to uncover these myths that we have around our business finances and our money mindset is the lovely Danielle Hayden. She is the co-founder and CEO of Kickstart Accounting Inc, where she helps 6- and 7-figure women entrepreneurs to stop winging it with their money and actually understand their numbers. Sounds simple, and yes, it can be simple, so effective when you actually do it though. She's your no BS financial co-pilot with a side of let's make this business profitable and fun again. So we have a really fun conversation where Danielle shares so many valuable insights, and I know that a lot of you are going to feel very seen and heard in this conversation. So you're going to be able to leave this episode by the end with a fresh perspective, new insights, and some new tools in order to switch your mindset around. With over 15 years experience in the world of finance, Danielle has worked her way from an accounting firm intern all the way up to co-founder of Kickstart Accounting. So she really understands how complex business finances can be. And she knows that entrepreneurs, especially women, need more than just a bookkeeper. They need a real financial analysis, a money buddy, someone who can talk the money stuff with them in the way that makes sense, makes it fun, and makes it far more practical and enjoyable. So without further ado, let me play this interview for you. Awesome. So I'm here in the studio now with Danielle Hayden, who's the CEO of Kickstart Accounting Inc. Welcome, Danielle. So good to have you here today.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited for this conversation.
Me too. I have to say, I don't think it's that often that we have conversations around money mindset and myths and things with an accountant, because I think usually they seem to be very left brain, right brain, separate. So I love the fact that we're going to bring this together and have this chat today, because clearly you are an expert in things financial. But before we get into that, could you tell us a bit about really what it is that you do in your business? Who do you help? And what's your sort of premise around just how you do finance for people?
Yeah. Well, it makes sense that I would bring the left brain and right brain together. So my background, I had started my career as a hairstylist way back when, and I had found a knack for using numbers to help myself and the salon hit our goals. And then I started to teach the other stylist and the business owner how to actually use our numbers to hit our goals collectively together.
Yeah.
Went back to school. I actually thought that I was going to own my own hair salon. The world had other plans for me. As I went into the corporate world, I found once again that I had a love for helping people understand the numbers and use numbers to make business decisions. We can use numbers to use them as a tool to hit our goals. And so I helped the management team, the CEOs, private equity, the investors understand the numbers each month and make data-driven decisions. And so I decided to go out on my own and to help creative entrepreneurs, people who are amazing at what you're good at. You're running your business, but not the finance side. And so my team and I've created a framework that has been proven to work with thousands of business owners, in which we apply to your financials so that you can finally understand your numbers and to be able to make data-driven decisions.
That's so amazing. And can you expand a little bit on what sort of numbers are you looking at? Because I know there are numbers and then there are numbers. And I was having an interesting chat with someone. I think they were like a financial planner on Threads earlier this morning and yesterday. And they were sort of saying how they're so misunderstood and things like that. And wondering why people choose a coach, maybe a business or marketing coach over them. And I'm like, well, there's numbers and then there's numbers. So there's different types of numbers that go on in your business. What are the ones that you focus on?
So most traditional accountants focus on the statements, income statement, profit and loss, balance sheet, cash flow statement. I feel the audience glazing over, and I get that, right? I do. So we created what we call our CEO dashboard, the snapshot. And so what we send our clients every single month is a high level overview of their numbers in what we call the snapshot, so that you can stay at a high level and look at the numbers that matter. And that includes, I'll give you a few examples. We look at revenue. And every month this changes based on our theme. But for instance, this month, all of our clients are receiving in their snapshot report this month's revenue compared to this month last year. So do we have seasonality year over year? Then we look at year-to-date revenue compared to last year. Are we growing? Are we trending up? Are we trending down? And then we look at the rolling 12 months revenue compared to the prior 12 months. So not just looking at year to date, that smooths out any seasonality. And then below that, we look at the revenue chart. What is our revenue month over month? So we can pay attention to what's working, what's not working. Now that format of looking at the prior month, prior period, we do that over and over again. We look at our expenses, our top 5 expenses compared to last year. Our net income, so how much money is in profit or loss of the business, and how does that compare to last year, last month? We look at our cash, so how much money in the bank do we have today compared to last year? Like how much money is coming in and out of our business? So those are the high level overviews: is revenue, top 5 expenses, your total expenses, net income, and then your cash. And I only want you as a business owner looking at this at a high level. You do not need to look at every single transaction.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really the trends, isn't it? I mean, you can look at something, but when you're looking at it in a snapshot of like what's happening right now, that only is giving you the status quo. It's not telling you, well, is that good or is it not good? Like, because it may not look amazing in that moment of the snapshot, but maybe it's like the trend over time and we would expect it to be low this month or whatever is going on. It's that sort of insight that you're providing by giving, the comparisons and the longer tail sort of trends and that type of thing that gives people actual real insight. Yeah, it's
the story of the numbers, because I think we hear that phrase, your numbers are trying to tell you the story. You got to listen to it. Well, how do you listen to it if you're not looking at the charts and graphs, and so you can see where the tides are going, so that you can ask those questions?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's so true. And it's like one of the things that, in marketing, when what I do, there are numbers in that. And it's the same thing. Like often people say to me things like, my ads aren't working. I'm like, well, why do you say they're not working? They're like, well, because I didn't get a sale from it. I'm like, but you're only looking at one metric there. But your ad is actually working because it's designed to get people to the page, and it was getting people to the page at a really good rate. It's like, it's what's happening there that's now where you need to look in. Why are they not converting? There's maybe even another couple of steps there. So it's like the breakdown of it. And like you're saying, like, let's actually create the story, stop looking at the surface level number and making an opinion on it, that is so important. But there's a lot of myths, I think, around money. And, you mentioned to me before we jumped on the recording that a lot of these myths that we have, particularly for women entrepreneurs, keep them playing small. What would you say are the top things that you hear people say? Let's knock out a few of you would call the top myths around money. Yeah.
So I think the number one thing that we hear at Kickstart Accounting Inc. is that I'm not a numbers person.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a numbers person. And it's like this blanket excuse to not go any further. And you guys, I purposely am calling it an excuse. It's a little bit of tough love because we're using it to let us off the hook. Like, because I'm not good I wasn't good at math in school. I'm not really good at numbers. My husband handles the finances. It's as if, okay, because I'm not good at it, I don't need to understand it. I don't need to look at it. I don't need to make sure that it's accurate. I just want to say that if you want to grow your business, if you have growth at all as part of your goal over the next year, then knowing your numbers has to be part of what you do as a business owner. It is literally your responsibility to know that information so that you stay in business. One of the number one reasons why business owners go out of business is because of cash. And so it's your responsibility in order to stay in business, to be able to continue to serve your clients, to stay in business and to understand what the numbers are telling you so that you can operate your business.
Yeah. And I'm sure everybody's sitting there thinking that is absolutely true. And I know that. And then there's the person who said in the first place, like, I'm not a numbers person. They're like, I would rather stick pins in my eyes than do some of the numbers. So how can we make it, how do we get over that barrier of feeling like that's just not something that I love to do? And I firmly believe, and I'm sure you do as well, it's not just a matter of outsourcing it, going, well, I'm not a numbers person, therefore I hire someone to do it and I don't look at it ever. It's like, oh, that's very dangerous, right? Like, you still need to be totally in control and aware of what's happening in your business. It's great to hire an accountant, absolutely. Yeah. Hire the numbers people because they're going to help you maximize it. But how do you help this person who's sort of feeling like, oh, this is, it's like I'm pulling myself through mud every time I go to look at the numbers. It's so hard. And how can we start to lighten it up?
I consider what we do at Kickstart, I consider it done with you. So yes, it's done for you. Yes, we go in and do your bookkeeping for you, but we do it with you. So we need our clients to answer our emails, answer our questions, read our snapshot, engage with us. The clients who get the best return of investment on hiring us, they're the clients who are engaging, who open that email, who watch the videos, who book the financial review calls. They engage back with us. And I get it. Like, money, there's a lot that goes around. There's a lot of shame. There's a lot of stories. So I want to say, find a money team that you actually like talking to, like that you just actually like them as people. So I hire a team that is amazing. They're so excited to share your wins, to collaborate with you, to be there for you when things aren't going well. And the reason why that's so important to me is because I want our clients to want to book that financial review call. I want them to want to ask a question when they're making a business decision. So I think it's most important for you to not outsource, not just outsource the control, not just outsource the task, but really find somebody that you want to engage with. And then I'll give you one other like cheat code. Whenever you're going to look at your numbers, pair it with something you love. So like, I have a client who every single time she gets on a call with my team, she goes to her favorite coffee shop. She orders a massive coffee and a cookie, and she puts all the dopamine that she can around, like, all right, I got my numbers. I had some sugar, I had some caffeine, and I got this great whole experience.
Love that. What a great idea. Yes, make it into a positive experience, like even before you get on the call. That's such a cool idea.
Yes.
Amazing. And so when you have people who are kind of going, well, maybe, I'm just not big enough yet. I've started, I'll get serious once I get to like 250K or whatever that is. What would you say to them? Like, what is the myth that they're kind of, or the belief, I guess, that they're buying into there that you would love to create a new perspective on?
So I know I've practiced this for myself and in my business, and I really encourage other business owners to think about, there's so many podcasts and content and reels out there about what successful people do. And the reason why there's so much content around it is because the psychology says if we behave like successful people behave, we will become successful. So I want you to think about, what is the type of business owner that you want to be 1 year, 3 year, 5 years from now? What is the habits of that business owner? Are they somebody who avoids their taxes, who doesn't know their numbers, who avoids their money team? Or are they the type of business owner who engages, who leans in? When things feel uncomfortable, they do it anyway. And when they don't know how to do something, they learn. They find a team to support them and they lean into that team. And so what is the type of CEO you want to be? And that has nothing to do with size. Our plans at Kickstart, we start our plans for business owners who are doing under 100K, and then they grow with them. And the reason that we do that, it's really important because I want every single business owner. My mission as a firm was to bring access to every single business owner so that you have the same reports as the big guys so that you can make those same data-driven decisions.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so important. And, you just mentioned something that I thought was really useful as well, just thinking there is no time when it's the right time to start. It's like you're running a business, then you need to have that financial literacy. And it's almost like the tools or the way that you provide it. So, the types of reports and things like that. I think when you look at people and their fear of something or their dislike of it, it's often just because they don't really get it. They don't understand it.
Yeah.
It's hard because they're like, I kind of don't know what I'm looking at. And this feels like it's a real task to do. But the way that you're explaining it, you're like, well, you don't need to be across every minor detail. You actually need to just be looking at these numbers. Maybe that only takes a few minutes. Like, look at the report, see the numbers, you've got that. Then you can go into, okay, meanings, questions, have a bit of a review around it.
It should only take you 10 to 15 minutes. I mean, tops, like to read through our whole snapshot should only take you 10 to 15 minutes. Our financial review calls are only 30 minutes. So you should be able to read the numbers and reflect on them. And it shouldn't take you that long. So,
yeah. And do you find that people, once they start to get used to what they're seeing and really understanding what the numbers mean, it stops being so painful and it stops being something that they want to avoid because now they understand it? Is that what you notice with your clients?
Of course. So we get our clients in onboarding, and our clients in onboarding, they often get on what we call our kickoff call. And I mean, you picture it like your shoulders are all the way up to your ears, you're like just all tense, like, and we literally watch people, like, as the call goes on and as they start to understand, literally your shoulders start to roll back, you start to like de-stress, like the tension can go down when you understand that, first of all, you're not responsible for the accuracy. Because I think part of why we're so upset around numbers is that we don't know if it's right or not. So when you're not responsible for that piece, and when you know what you're looking at is accurate and that you can use it and you have someone to help explain it to you, it all changes. I want to touch on one other thing. So this is kind of another myth that we see in the world, is that I think especially as women, think about the Instagram reels and the marketing of Target and Amazon and like the programming that we've been conditioned to think.
Yeah.
We've been conditioned to think we're overspenders. Oh, look at my wife. She's got another box at the door. A Starbucks coffee as we walk around Target. We've been, or even in movies, like, oh, not good with money. We have this whole programming from the media as women that
Mm.
we spend too much. We're too much. Come into business, and all of a sudden you think that you need to cut back on spending because you're programmed to think, I'm an overspender. I need to cut back here. And we actually see that it hurts our businesses because we need to invest in the growth. We have to invest in marketing. We have to invest in coaches. We have to invest in professional services and contractors and people and team. If we want to grow, we have to invest in those things. And so we have to overcome this money mindset.
Wow, I've never heard anyone bring that up before. And I'm just sitting here thinking, you are so right. And it's amazing. Women in particular, I noticed this going into business, they are the most frugal business owners ever. They literally are like trying to run things on everything free or costing nothing, or, they're going for the cheapest option because they just think I shouldn't spend. And I'd never put that together with how we've been conditioned into that feeling like we're overspending so much in the media, but it's so accurate. And now that I see it through that lens, I'm like, oh, that is 100% what is going on. Wow, what a huge mindset shift. Because I think often when I think of this stuff that you hear with money mindset, we're so often just being told, oh, you've got issues around money and money blocks and all of these things. You just feel like the whole time you're being told you're doing it wrong, you're thinking about it wrong, like everything is wrong. And, I think you can get yourself in this place where it's like you're so used to looking for problems, you just see problems with what you're doing everywhere.
Yes. It's so true.
Insanity. So tell me a bit more about the money mindset stuff that you see as maybe some commonly held beliefs or things that people are doing, but you're actually like, this is not helpful. Like, like you just said, we actually do need to spend to enable our big business to grow. Like if you're trying to do it on your own with nothing, of course you can do that for a little while when you're first starting up, before you've got to the point of being able to hire. But, it happens much sooner than what you think, and you can grow a lot faster the sooner that you do invest. So yeah, I'd love to hear what else you have to say, other money mindset things that we need to rethink.
Yeah. So yes, you are right. We can grow faster when we're willing to invest. And how do we get comfortable with investing and in spending in our businesses? The other money mindset shift is to start seeing your numbers as a tool. It's a tool that you have in your tool belt to be able to step into your role as a CEO. It's a tool for growth. I think what happened is we have this report card effect. So every quarter in school, you get a report card. And if you were anything like me growing up, I got talks too much on every single on every single report card. My mom laughs every time she sees one of my reels on Instagram. Still talking, Mom. But so I had talking too much. And then my mom would ground me on top of it. So I'm dreading the report card. I'm dreading getting grounded again, the shame, all of those feelings.
Yeah.
Now, as an adult, you get your monthly or quarterly financial report from your tax accountant or your bookkeeper. What do you think you feel?
Yeah,
like you're getting, like you're getting your report card.
It's there in the inbox. I'm going to click on it. And what's it going to say? It's like that same feeling when you would get the report and you're wondering what's in it. You're like, I think I know, but I don't actually know. So true.
My gut is telling me that I'm actually what we see more often than anything is for our clients that they feel like they're slower. Clients will come to us and they'll say, I don't know, this year feels really slow. It feels slow. And when we look at the numbers, it's not that it's actually slow. It's just that we've gotten accustomed to the new level of chaos. So as we've grown, we get accustomed to the chaos, and then we grow
Mhm.
again and we get accustomed to that chaos. And so as we continue to grow, we feel like things are never fast enough. We feel like it's not
Yes.
enough. And then
Mm.
we open our report card. We're waiting for someone to tell us, you're not good enough. You're getting held back. Everybody else is doing
Mhm.
better than you.
Mhm.
You were never cut out to be an entrepreneur. Got to go back to your 9 to 5, right? Because we're programmed to think pass or fail. And we're afraid somebody's going to fail us in entrepreneurship and make us go back, and we're not going to be
Mm.
included here.
Mhm. Yes. Absolutely. We are so programmed for that. And it's so interesting. Like every one of those thoughts, right? It's like it's not fast enough, or I should be further along by now. And it's like actually just stop for a moment and look at where you are now compared to where you were. And for the most part, I reckon most people, maybe there are a few people who literally are, plateaued and just stuck in the same place, but it might be because you're just doing the same things and applying the same thinking all the time. Like sometimes you do need to get out of that and do something new in order to see the growth. But for a lot of people, it's like you've got this like idea that you're stuck somewhere and not going anywhere. But when you actually look and go, hey, okay, where were you a year ago? They're like, oh, wow, I actually hadn't even realized how far I've come in a year, because you're living in it every day and you're going through the
And we don't
motions.
and we don't celebrate.
No, you
We
don't
don't
stop to take a
celebrate.
minute to look at it. It's so true.
Yeah, that's why we include that in our snapshot. So I love that you said that, because we are looking at revenue compared to last year, profit
Mm,
compared to last year. And the reason we do that is to be able to say, hold on, wow, I've really grown, and I need to match the data to my feelings, because you might be feeling like it wasn't enough. But when
mm.
we, clients will say, it's only $5,000, but that's like 10% of your sales. Or like when we think about it in that way, like it really helps us understand the real impact of our growth.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And when you're looking at a number, it might be, not feel that significant. But when you're looking at a percentage and actually a growth rate, you're like, well, do you realize a lot of companies are only growing at a rate of, and they congratulate themselves and they grow 3% in a year, and you've just grown 15 or 20, or even like, wow, sometimes we get these leaps. Like I have a client that, will do like 500% growth in a few months. And you're like, that is insane. Like there is no, any big company that would do that amount is huge. And we're not talking about brand new businesses going from nothing to something. It's like, no, these have been established for 10 years. And then to have that sort of like real kickstart, which is amazing. But it's not something that you're going to see every time, right? You get that amazing growth and then you go back to kind of a more regular place, but you've just lifted up to a new level. One of the questions that I had for you, because it was just sort of in the back of my mind as you were talking then, something that I see often around numbers when people kind of come in and they're like, okay, they know what their goal is, they know what they want to make. And then I look at, okay, so what have we got going on? What are your offers and your pricing? And I do the math on it and I'm like, okay, you realize that there's a big, giant gap here from what you're actually able to earn right now based on what it is that you're offering and what your goal is. So how do you think you're going to get to that goal? And this is the gap that I try to close for them. I'm curious to hear from you, like in terms of your views on, yeah, I guess the goals, what you see people
Yeah.
doing, like are they coming in kind of going, well, I write down 30K months in my journal like 100 times and I'm trying to manifest 30Ks, and I'm like, it's great that you want to do that and
Perfect.
like step into that place, but we've actually got to have something that's getting you there.
Yeah. So this
Yeah.
is something that we work on through our budget. So when we work with our clients, there's two options. We have our budget and then we have our CFO services. And the reason I bring that up is because in our CFO services, what we do is we walk our clients through a framework of goal setting where we look at where do we want to be in 10 years? Like,
Yeah.
what does that look like?
Mm-hmm.
Then let's say, all right, where do we want to be in 3 years? And then where do we want to be in 1? And then what's even more important is that we look at what are our personal goals? So what
Yeah.
do I need? What does my family need from my business? Like, how do I support my personal life, my family? And then what we do is what we call SWOT analysis: strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats. And we use all of that to build out a budget. And this is what bridges the gap between dreams and affirmations and manifestation to actually making it happen. And I'm with you. I am all about manifestation. I have, I still keep them on. I have this little pin board over here. I've every revenue goal that I've had, I've written it on a post-it note, and then it sits on this little space in my desk until I hit that revenue. Then it moves to the pin board, and then I keep doing it. And so, yes, I believe in manifestation. And with my team, I set an annual budget. So every year I go into the year using the same process I just walked you through, the same process we use with our CFO clients. I do the exact same process. And then once a quarter, we go in and we reforecast to say, all right, here's what's happened. Where do I really think I'm going to be during the rest of this month? So please use data. Please use these numbers as permission. It's a tool to help map out your manifestation, to map out that goal.
Yeah, exactly. And I love that you said, the two things can really coexist, because I also believe 100% in manifestation, and in the way that in order for you to actually be earning a 30K month, you've got to be able to believe that you can earn it, that you can actually hold that space, that energy. You can ask for whatever it is that you're asking for with confidence, because there's so often, I think women come in and they really underestimate what their potential is, and actually just helping them to be like, hey, actually what I do is worth this amount. And and being able to step into that place and then have an offer and a really simple service model that actually can get them to the goal without it being.
Do you have the right systems, the right service model? Like, can you even fulfill a 30K month? Do you have the right systems, people, tools to get there?
Yes, because it's like you might be running a service that's like, well, to make 30K months, you're going to be either working 70-hour weeks, or you need a huge team, or what. It's like, if you only want to work a 20 to 30-hour week, then this model isn't the right one for you. It's not like there's not a right and a wrong, but it's more like, let's get that alignment and the fit happening, because you need to create the business that's going to work for you. Some people want a big team, other people don't. It's like, let's actually just design it so that you can hit the goals, though, right? And part of that's actually feeling like you can.
It's important to know that, like, you don't have to build a big team. You don't have to. That's why we look at, where do we want to be in 10 years? Where do we want to be in 3 years? And then if you tell me, well, my goal is 30K months, but I actually really need 2 team members in order to hit that, then that's not the same profit.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, we had a client, this was a few years ago now. She was doing really well, and she brought on another, like, additional service offering. And if you just looked at her sales, her point of sale system, you would see like hockey stick growth. Like, she was killing it, bringing in clients. Oh, I mean, it was incredible. However, in order to support that type of growth, she had to have a team of contractors to actually help her fulfill the work. And it wasn't giving her energy. She didn't love leading the team. She loved doing the work. And what she realized, she had launched in July. By August, she had realized that she was actually going to, her debt was increasing. Her profit was decreasing. She was going to really hurt her family, because she couldn't take home any draws or profit distributions, because all of those dollars were going into paying her contractor. So not only was she unhappy, but she was going broke.
Yeah, exactly. And it happens actually, I think, often without people really realizing it, because they're going, oh, I'm doing so well, I'm attracting more clients, and I'll create another program and I'll create another one. And I'm always like, the more things you create, the more things you have to run. And the business gets so much bigger and heavier, all your back end, like the processes, the people, the technology, like it adds up. And it can actually be like this business that on the front end looks like you're killing it, you're doing everything amazing, you've got so much going on. And in the back end, it's like everybody is about to die and burn out because there's just, it's not efficient and lean to run that way, especially if you're a smaller business owner like we are, you're an entrepreneur, you're not a giant global bank with, thousands and thousands of employees and all these systems. Like you don't actually need to run your business like that. And I think that's one of the subconscious mindset things that I see a lot of people who, come out of corporate like myself. And it's been the norm because you've been in these bigger organizations and that's your context of like what business is like. And, you kind of, without realizing it, even though, of course, logically in your own mind, you're like, well, I know that my business is small and it's me and it's maybe going to be one or two people. You also apply what you feel is normal in how you're making some decisions around what you're offering and how you're operating. And that's really where I see, the reality can, like you say, this person who's doing so well, but then suddenly it's like, actually the debt's growing and the profit is just disappearing because the model isn't really suited to that type of business. It's probably suited to a much, much bigger one where they've got the ability to do that at scale. But it's just, not the thing, right?
Yeah. And what I'm the most thankful for, and I remember her saying this to me, she said, I just can't tell you how much I appreciate the fact that you guys have been sending me my numbers every month. Because had she waited until tax time, like if she had waited an entire year to look at her numbers, she would have gone out of business. Like she would not, she could have really jeopardized her family. And so instead she was able to see quickly and to make those decisions. So I just can't, I just want to keep on saying that our numbers are a tool to help us hit our goals, to help us work on our mindset, to help us be the business owner and the CEO that we want to be.
Yeah. And that's so much empowerment is the word I was looking for, the empowerment that you're giving those people by just sending through that numbers every month. You can get that quick snapshot. You can know where you are, where you're going. And it's so much faster and easier to be able to make those decisions and change something if you're like, okay, there's something really concerning here. And I'm sure that you're highlighting some of the trends and like, hey, have a look at this. Look what's happening and you might need to make some changes. Do you have any other like major myth that you think we haven't touched on today that, or something that you would go back and tell maybe your past self of yourself even that you'd love to share?
I got one. I got one more. It is the I'm too small. I'm too small to hire a coach. I'm too small to invest in. I'm too small to hire somebody. I'm too small. Like by saying I'm too small, we're keeping ourselves small. And I said it before, if we want to be the CEO of a business who is doing $250,000 in sales, then we have to act like the business owner who's doing $250,000 in sales. What do they do? How do they act? How do they behave? Where do they spend their money? We cannot keep on saying, I'm too small and then not make the right decisions for our business. I don't think I've ever actually heard anyone say, I hired too soon. It's always, I wish I would have hired sooner so that I could get out of the day-to-day, so that I could get the support that I needed. So hire before you're ready and stop saying you're too small, because that's how we grow.
Yeah, absolutely. Love that. So I'm so on the same page with you. I think that there's often a lot of things that you're doing that you hire someone for. Your time is worth so much more than what you're paying that person for. So if you can earn 3-4 times the amount in that same time that person is now doing what you used to be doing, then you're actually making a profit by hiring them. So thinking about it in that way, instead of thinking about it like an expense, it's actually an investment in your business being able to grow. It's so important. And, the same thing with technology. I think there's sometimes a bit of a badge of honor. People are like, oh, well, I've just been using a spreadsheet and, and there's like, I can do it myself. And it's like, that's great.
Superhuman.
But,
Superpowers.
And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with spreadsheets. I love a good spreadsheet. Don't get me wrong. But, it's like that badge of honor, like that they're so tough because they've done it I don't know what it is that I'm trying to say, but it applies in so many places.
We wear the Superman cape. Like I know how to do it all. Like I can do it all myself. I don't need anyone else. Mm-hmm. And I keep on saying, like, hang up the cape, because here's the best thing that I learned as a CEO on my self-development journey is that I'm actually not good at everything. Like I'm actually really bad at some things. Should I ever be in Canva? No.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
There's a bunch of things I should never do. And so the minute I could start owning that, to say, hey, there's actually somebody way more qualified than I am, and I'm going to go spend time over here. Since I got all that off my plate, I get to have conversations like this with you. And that is what I enjoy, and it lights me up, and I get excited to do this. And it's because I have a team doing the other things to support my business and my clients. Yeah.
I love that you mentioned Canva, because it's one of the ones that I love to kind of highlight to people. It's like, you might think that, you're in there and you're doing okay, but the amount of time you spend, it's like your time waster. You've probably got a little bit of passion for, maybe you're creative and you think I'd like to do it, but your proficiency level is a lot lower than a real designer. So if what takes them half an hour probably takes you 3 hours, and this is really not an effective use of your time. So fine, if you've got loads of time and you really want to just, that's you having some time out and playing around in Canva, great. But if you're really trying to be productive in your business and get stuff done, and like a lot of people, women I work with, they're mums, and they're like, well, I only want to work 10 hours a week or 20 hours a week. I'm like, great. So you are not wasting time in Canva. You need to get someone who actually knows what they're doing, and they get it done, and you can focus on what you do.
It's the same with QuickBooks. So Canva and QuickBooks, I think, go hand in hand. Like some people are like, well, I enjoy seeing every single transaction. And I just say, you are not a bookkeeper. You are not trained on how to do bookkeeping. I can't do what you guys do. Like, I can't do it. And so we all need each other. And so if you're not trained to be a bookkeeper, get out of QuickBooks and let someone do your bookkeeping accurately and with confidence, so that you can know that your numbers are correct and you're making strong business decisions. It's the same thing with Canva. Get out of Canva, get out of QuickBooks.
Yeah. I 100% agree. To me, like my bookkeeper, that was the very first hire I made as a business owner, because I was like, I know that I'm not good at this, and I will literally be like in this wasting so much time figuring it out. It's like, I don't need to be doing that. I can, like you say, it's like I need the high level numbers, and that's it. So that's amazing. Danielle, you've been so generous, and I've loved this conversation. I love the mix of like the mindset, the myths, and the money stuff, because it is, we do need to have a bit of both, but it's like using them as tools and positively, as you've explained, is really how we can make it beneficial, much more fun. We can be smiling.
Every business is supposed to be fun. Let's bring back the fun to business and do the things that we enjoy.
Love it. So where can people connect with you and get in touch, follow you to learn more about what you do?
kickstartaccountinginc.com/gift. You can come and download our worksheets there. And then our podcast, Business by the Books, go on every single week to talk about how to use your numbers to make business decisions.
Amazing. That's so good. I will make sure that those are linked up in the show notes. You're clearly somebody who's got a lot of amazing things to say, and really great to listen to as well. So make sure you go over and listen to Danielle's podcast. Thank you so much for being here today. I really appreciated your time, and I know that everyone listening will have as well.
Thank you.